Oh, ho, 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 ho. Hey, Anita.
Hey, Karen.
And Jimmy.
Hi.
And Jimmy, yes.
Producer Jimmy.
Haven't spoken to you all since episode 1. Hope you're all well.
And we just are here doing our holiday special and going to do kind of a recap, the best and the worst of the idiot GOP in 2023 and some of the ridiculous
the shit
things.
Show that is the Republican Party.
Exactly.
And speaking of shit, we're also going to be talking about Donald Trump smells really bad, trending for about a week. Mm-hmm. Why?
Because he smells bad.
What does he smell like, Karen?
I think he smells like rancid dentures, body odor, makeup, somebody said. And what else? Poop.
And he smells like ass.
So, well, one thing that I wanted to talk about is just kind of the stupidity of Charlie Kirk and his idiot crew talking about Taylor Swift. And I know that you had kind of brought that to my attention.
And I feel as if she's being forced upon our culture, like it's this Taylor Swift colonizing effort. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. She's a narcissist. I don't think that she's very talented.
She's nasty. She's ugly. Nobody likes her. She looks like nobody likes her. She looks like a teenage boy. Like, dudes don't like her. No. Like, if you put her in front of, like, she's ugly.
That's true. Yeah. Does Taylor Swift have any eggs left?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Does she have any eggs left? Because that's all a woman's worth to these guys. They're just so, God, they're so pathetic.
Yeah. And
Taylor Swift would ever go out with any of those guys.
Yeah. Well,
she cares what they think.
Yeah. Well, and you look at it, you look at these guys, first of all, and it's like, ick. Well,
that's who the Republican Party are. That's who they are. They're just a bunch of pathetic men. Not all men, of course, are like that. But, there's a reason straight white men gravitate towards the Republican Party. Middle-aged straight white men. And even some young guys, because these guys weren't old. Charlie Kirk runs Turning Point USA, which his whole mission is to get young people, college students. He goes to college campuses to try to recruit young people into conservatism.
Yeah.
And, and yet these are young women cannot, this has got to be so offensive to young women. I mean, it's offensive to me, of course. But
yeah, well, and we're in an age of Roe being overturned and Republican voting women and Democratic and independent voting women who are furious. And so I almost feel like let the footage roll with these guys. And you and I know had talked about what is it about Taylor Swift in particular that triggers these guys so badly. And I think one of the things that we had put out as a possibility was the fact that here you have typically white women would vote by proxy for the things that would keep cis white men, Christian men in power. And so the fact is it that is it her whiteness that they feel here you have
they feel threatened by
Yeah.
Powerful women like Taylor. They even go on to say she's in her 30s. Mm-hmm. She hasn't even started a family. She isn't married. She must be miserable.
Well, she's taken the world by storm. So right. I think they're pissed off that how dare a woman have this much popularity and power
on her own.
Yes.
Without a man.
Yeah.
This is really, they feel threatened by her. They obviously feel threatened by her. They spent 25 minutes talking about her on this segment.
Right.
And the real problem right now, what they're having is that if she were a conservative woman, they would be fine with her. The fact that she has expressed more liberal views about LGBTQ rights, about women's rights, about civil rights, about those type of things, and that she came out, and because she's from Tennessee, she came out against Marsha Blackburn, and now she's registering thousands and thousands of young women. Yeah. They are threatened by that.
That is exactly what it is. So, and of course, because of her broad appeal and the voice that she provides and then also amplifies and kind of resonates with all of these younger women who will be voting.
It's not just younger women. It's their mothers.
And their mothers. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. They go to these concerts, and there are men too that appreciate, Taylor Swift. They don't feel threatened by her. Secure men don't feel threatened by her. But apparently, she for some reason is just kind of really set them off. And her dating a football player, Travis Kelce, for some reason really upsets them too.
I feel like conservative men this is like right up their alley. It's like she started out in country music. She's dating a pro football player. What?
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Yeah. They're like, what's going on? They were fine with her when she was, singing her country, her little country songs. But now, because she's branched out into pop, and she even does some like hip hop kind of, I don't know if you've heard any of her music lately. But she raps in it. I mean, she has a different sound.
Yeah, it's kind of crossover type of,
she's, but, and now.
She's evolved like any artist has.
Exactly. She's not a little girl anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
She started out with that one song. What's that first song? She did that video about how she liked this guy and he wouldn't even look at her.
That's all of her songs.
That's all of her songs.
Yeah. Well, no, now she talks about guys that, she kind of names and she talks about, what they did to her and how pissed off she is, which is fine because women relate to that.
On the 12th day of Christmas, Trump voters gave to me 12 staffers squealing, 11 tweets on kneeling, 10 Russian spies, 9 holes of golf, 8 accounts of groping, 7 sealed indictments, 6 peeing hookers, 5 golden showers, 4 bankruptcies, 3 wives with 2 moron sons, and a farce of a presidency. And a farce of a presidency.
Okay, so moving on. So that that is just a little bit of misogynistic ridiculousness from a lot. And then of course one of my favorites was Joe Rogan.
Oh my God, yeah, Joe Rogan. Yeah.
So anyway,
why do people listen to this guy?
I know. It's amazing. And so basically
he's a moron.
His producer fact checked him real time.
Yesterday or a couple days ago, he's talking about the Revolutionary War. He's like, one of the reasons why we lost the Revolutionary War, one of the problems with the Revolutionary War was they didn't have enough airports. Yeah. Have you seen that?
A few moments later.
The same stable genius who said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports.
Is that fake?
It's not fake, but he was referencing Trump saying that.
It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, right. Okay, so but then the putts that he's got on there with him, he literally says, that's the thing about media these days. You got to look into it.
Yeah, they're the media, by the way.
No shit. These are the same morons that were sitting there shooting ivermectin when he had COVID. And these are the people that, I'm not even kidding, Anita. I told you about the story when I was having lunch with a former coworker. And we're sitting there, and she actually name-checked Joe Rogan as to why she's not getting vaccinated.
Oh my God.
And talked about him getting ivermectin.
They've been like the top podcast on all these platforms for years, and they're just now learning how to check themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And they're being paid millions to be on. He's on Spotify.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sitting there saying all these things about Joe Biden, which tells you they probably only, first of all, they're not paying attention.
Right.
To what Donald Trump says, because if they didn't hear that he said ram the ramparts, and he doesn't know who Cornwallis is, for God's sakes.
No.
He doesn't know what Valley Forge was. He barely knows who George Washington is.
Right.
Don't tell me he knew any of that stuff, because then he went on to say they rammed the ramparts, they took over the airports, they did everything they had to do. I mean, my God. And then the fact that they didn't know that, and then they must watch these edited clips. There are deceptively edited clips that you can on Fox News of Joe Biden looking like he doesn't know where he's at, constantly editing to make it sound like he's stuttering all the time. He can't finish a sentence. He's wandering off. He's shaking invisible hands. I mean, and they're all deceptively edited.
Yep.
And then they get debunked, but they don't care.
No.
Fox News doesn't care. They paid out almost $1 billion, and they're still lying to their viewers. They do not care.
Trump in jail, Trump in jail, Trump in jail rock. He's gonna swing and we're gonna sing. Send him upriver and we'll have some fun. Now his time in jail has begun. Trump in jail, Trump in jail, Trump in jail rock. Him doing time for all of his crimes. Dancing and prancing in Washington Square. He deserves the chair. What a bright time. He'll do hard time. And rocks he'll crush all day. Trump in jail time. It's a swell time. And it'll happen when Steph goes on vacay. Giddy up, pick up the pace. He's running out the clock. There's not a reason now that he should be free. That's the Trump in jail. That's the Trump in jail. That's the Trump in jail rock.
Well, I have to say, I feel like there was something, Lincoln Project all week, to kind of doing like have people voting for the #1 Lincoln Project commercial.
They're doing it. They do a great job.
So
triggering Trump.
Trump, and so we had a couple here. Hold on, there was one in particular where they kind of do this thing and use Fox News.
He's too old. He's out of touch, losing his marbles at an alarming rate.
They have sinks where no water comes out. You turn it on, no water comes out. You want to wash your hands, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen this, and you turn on the sink, and it's very little.
I do want to remind everybody, this is the guy that worked with the former Klansman.
I will be Donald Trump's most loyal advocate to make sure his nominees go to the Supreme Court.
Full of his struggles and ramblings and rantings and mumbling and bumbling and stumbling. You decide. Take a look.
They've deliberately surrendered our border to vicious coyotes and drug smugglers. I mean, the smuggler.
A smuggler! I find it awkward. I find it embarrassing. He's really in the early stages of some kind of senile dementia.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings.
It's more than awkward and embarrassing. It's actually dangerous. Having someone with his mental state, to me, is terrifying.
She speaks in rhyme.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. That's exactly right. That's what they do. All the things about, once again, it's projection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
Because they know fully well. If you listen to those, read those emails that they were sending to each other and those text messages, they know Donald Trump is unfit for anything, for any office.
Yeah.
They know he's an idiot. They know he's a moron. Everybody's known that. All these Republicans know that.
Yeah.
And everybody at Fox News knows that. They hate him.
Yeah. No, I know.
Tucker Carlson said how much he hated him. What did he say? He said, I can't remember how much he was disgusted. He disgusted him and he hated him. Mm-hmm. And then he went on, his apology tour.
Yeah.
Trying to do his interview.
Yeah.
Pretend that he never said that. It's just, they're just so awful.
No, they're horrible. And so, but I mean, this is the thing. I know that we're going into this primary season and, kind of like, how do Democrats message? How do we message? And my hope is that, the Biden campaign is going to really utilize, like, I know there's Biden headquarters that does a lot of their really viral social media activity. And I feel like, they're going to be hitting it hard. But then, we also have like the Lincoln Project, who they've been doing great work. And so we did pull a few of their first place finishers for the different categories. And so this is one that literally, I think, encapsulates the danger of the GOP.
School is back in session, and Republican lawmakers have been working all summer to make this year the craziest one yet. Say goodbye to boring woke books like Fahrenheit 451. In fact, just burn them. Do the horrors of slavery bum you out? The GOP has you covered. We've refreshed it with a brand new spin.
Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no? No big deal.
Wow. Time for lunch. Oh, not for you, Jimmy. We're rolling up our sleeves and rolling back free and reduced lunch programs. What a freeloader. Go make varsity. But wait, not until the GOP double-checks your genitals to make sure they match with the team. Thanks, Coach. And take an extra 20% off our already low standards with doorbuster deals on bulletproof backpacks. Now available in toddler size.
Now show me how you use your bulletproof backpack.
Come to the Republican Party and go back to school the far right way.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so that particular one is called Back to School with the GOP. And, I mean, it is kind of one, like they have that category, laugh to keep from crying, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's just telling the truth about the GOP. It's actually pretty ridiculous. But there are people that are fine with that.
Well, right. And then, you have Nikki Haley, the, front runner, who is getting all kinds of shit now, rightfully so.
Oh, yeah. Let me play the one where they're just whiny little snowflakes.
Okay.
You've heard us Republicans talk about the Biden crime family. Well, here's a crime we can finally prove.
The White House is taking things that have been negatives in the past, like Let's Go Brandon, now it's Dark Brandon. They're embracing it.
Joe Biden is stealing our joke.
A coffee mug imprinted with the Dark Brandon persona.
Remember, Dark Brandon came from Let's Go Brandon.
One of the most creative negative chants in the history of the world.
The worst insult that he's adopted through his presidency and make something of it.
Look, everyone knows we're the assholes. It's what Republicans do best.
Dude, that was an insult.
I don't think it's funny. And Brandon is not a compliment. That's actually a really dark joke at the expense of the American public.
Like, what does that even mean?
Right.
Exactly. What does it mean?
Nobody knows, but we're pretty sure it's treason.
Is there some sort of legal fallout from this too, maybe?
He's trying to sell this coffee mug with his face on it. Isn't that pretty much exactly what Hunter Biden and Devin Archer were doing? They were trying to sell Joe Biden.
When tyrants speak, believe them.
This election, don't vote for tyrants who print memes on coffee mugs.
It's funny because he is a dark guy. There's some darkness in his soul.
Don't let Joe Biden's black heart ruin the one joke we Republicans have. I mean, look at all this crap we bought from China. How much do you think I can get for this on eBay?
So we just played the Laugh to Keep from Crying, where they, show a bunch of
The whining about the Dark Brandon stuff.
How they took the Let's Go Brandon slogan and basically co-opted it. Yeah.
I have a Dark Brandon mug. I love that he did that.
No, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah, that is what they need.
Around.
You have to, and this is the thing, and we've talked about it before. You have to, elected Democrats, and some of the younger ones understand this. You have got to take their shit, co-opt it, and turn it around and make viral. You have to create viral moments,
Yeah, because most of their stuff is so lame anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
And it's better. It's funnier as Dark Brandon.
Yeah.
I mean, they really capitalized on that. I have the Dark Brandon mug, like I said, where the eyes glow when you pour coffee or hot tea in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they made money off of that. I paid $32 for that little mug. So, yeah, a lot of people, apparently that was their best seller.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he put the ad out where he's drinking the coffee. And it's such a badass ad. It really triggered all these people. That's what triggered them, that he put that ad out.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So,
I know. It's
he
like,
needs to do more of that.
Yep.
Even when he was talking about what Donald Trump said about, he was mocking him saying, we took over the airports, the one that Joe Rogan attributed to Joe Biden. And it happened to be Trump. Joe Biden was mocking Trump for saying that.
Yeah.
That he needs to do more of that. You know who's really good at that? Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And once he gets on the campaign trail, he'll be doing some of that too. So we need good surrogates.
Yeah.
That, you know, and Barack Obama is willing and able.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and there's so much. I mean, this is the thing. You know, we could go on for days, like playing all of these clips about the ridiculousness, you know, of the Republican Party and these elected officials that just are wasting time and taxpayer dollars on these moronic hearings and trying to create all these gotcha moments, you know.
That's ridiculous. The gas stove thing. Let's see, what else did they do? This is the kind of stuff they wasted their time on. The impeachment for nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody can figure out what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
Of course, what they're really doing is they're trying to tie Hunter Biden. Although Hunter Biden, they can only really, they've been investigating him for 5 years. And the only thing they got him on was his tax evasion charge, which he paid back his taxes. Nobody gets charged with that. And that gun charge, which conservatives don't want people to be charged for lying on a gun permit. They think that's perfectly acceptable.
Right.
So nobody gets charged with that either unless they used a gun, you know, in a crime.
Yeah.
So there is a two-tier justice system other than, you know, the fact that we know that black people of color are treated differently than rich white dudes.
Right.
But also Bidens get treated differently, apparently.
Well,
or Democrats.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was listening to the interview with Hunter Biden and Moby, and I mean, it is just precious. Like his son Bo is in the background, and just it was just, if you have not heard it, you have got to go and listen to it. It is just it's just so, you know, it's heart-wrenching when you think of everything that the Biden family has gone through, that he in particular has gone through. And
he lost his mother, his sister, and then his brother.
Yeah, and that these people think that this is the way. This is the way to bring down a president. And you know,
they're cruel.
And he said, and he said, this is what they want. They want me to die. They want to kill me because they want to break my father.
Because they know it would kill him.
Yes.
It would break him.
Yes, absolutely.
He's already lost a son. He lost a daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably would kill him. And they seem to be angry that he loves his son, that he stands with his son, that he stands behind him.
Yep. And so caving into the pressure, DOJ comes, you know, charges Hunter Biden. Okay, go ahead, let it play out. You know, he showed up, you know, and then these members of Congress like Comer calling him to testify behind closed doors because, you know, they care so much about transparency, right?
Well, previous to that, he had said, I want him to come testify. I don't care if it's publicly or privately. Right. And then he reneged on that when Hunter Biden, you know, actually took him up on it.
Right.
Actually called him out.
Yeah. Yeah. So this whole thing, you're right, like the two-tiered system and then also the weaponization of our law enforcement. You know, but this is the thing, Anita. I mean, and I don't know if you heard this, but this is the thing that we really should be concerned with because, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene has a thing or two to say. You know, as far as the weaponization and, you know, of the DO, the FBI, right.
Makes any sense. Set the stage, though. She's in a hearing.
So she's in this hearing with, so FBI director has to remind Marjorie Taylor Greene that he's not part of DHS.
Right here, Katrina Bleakley is the lead attorney for the Southern Poverty Law Center. Were you aware of this?
Congresswoman, as I said, I haven't seen the photos that you're holding up before.
Maybe, well, I posted them on my Twitter account. It's public. You know, maybe
I don't
you guys
spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Well, you know, oh, I'm sure you do, because the Department of Homeland Security, organized with other offices, has censored many Americans, including myself.
I'm not part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Right, Mr. Ray, you should be interested in investigating terrorism.
Terrorism.
Oh my God.
You should be interested in investigating
terrorism. Flagging her
terrorism.
Twitter is terrorism, Karen. And it's just so she's such a narcissist. She is spending taxpayer money to whine to, I think, Mayorkas, was it? Secretary Mayorkas?
Yeah.
About her Twitter account.
Right. Well, that was Christopher Wray, but she wants to
that was
impeach.
Christopher Wray.
Yeah, she wants to impeach Mayorkas as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
stuff.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. We couldn't do this without our loyal listeners and love hearing from you. So please give us some stars and review if you are so inclined wherever you get this podcast. This, along with all future episodes of TruBlu Politics podcast, are sponsored by our wonderful TruBlu crew of listeners and our supporters on Patreon. As a small startup podcast, our Patreon members help us pay the bills to keep the ship sailing smoothly and also allow us to keep investing in equipment upgrades for even better quality content in the future. When you sign up as a monthly TruBlu crew member at even just $5, Anita, do you have $5?
I think so.
Okay,
yes.
Well, that's good because you instantly unlock our private TruBlu pod chat as well as ad-free full episodes a day earlier than everyone else and upwards from there. We've made more perks available, like having your name shouted out at the end of our show and a personal Zoom call with me and Anita to discuss ways to overthrow the GOP. Where can they go to become a Patreon?
It's great that you asked that question. To become a Patreon member of TruBlu Politics, they can go to patreon.com/TruBlu Politics Podcast. That's TRUBLU Politics Podcast. Sign up for free, sign up for a paid tier, whatever you want to do. Join our community, unlock our exclusive content, get some perks while you're there, whatever you want. This episode of TruBlu Politics is brought to you by Night Sky Woodworks, featuring gorgeous products like cutting boards, cheese and charcuterie boards, and beautiful tea light holders, all finely handcrafted in their Chicago, Illinois wood shop. The holidays may be over, but an eye-catching design from Night Sky Woodworks is the perfect complementary home piece to ring in the new year. Check out their in-stock designs today or message your custom order request on their Etsy shop by visiting etsy.com/shop/Night Sky Woodworks. That's etsy.com/shop/NITESKYE Woodworks.
So Anita, we had at the top of the show, we had talked about, the trending topic for 5 days I think it's been about a week now. And what was it again?
Trump smell.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Trump smells bad.
Very disturbing.
Trump stinks.
Trump
What else?
Smells like ass.
Yeah.
Trump stinks. Trump smells really bad.
Yeah.
All kinds of variations of that.
Yeah, and
and it's been trending for days, and I think it's hilarious.
Well, and for that, we have.
Mom, is that Tucker Carlson walking in?
Oh my God! We have cub reporter Tucker Carlson.
No. Tucker.
What is he doing here?
Tucker's here. Well,
did you invite him?
I didn't, but I guess he's here, and I think he has some questions.
How did he find us?
I don't know. MapQuest.
Ask him about.
I don't know.
Is this
Trump
the
stinks.
TruBlu Politics podcast? I have some questions. All right, ladies. Now, I've seen a lot of these trending hashtags on Twitter. Hashtag Trump smells, hashtag Trump smells bad, and even hashtag Trump stinks. And so I think that it makes me just ask the question. Does Trump really stink? Do all dictators stink? Or is this exclusive to Trump?
I went on a quest to get some answers to these questions that I like to ask. Like, when did this all start? For this answer, I found that his rancid body odor can be traced back to the 80s, when he reportedly was asked to leave a popular Manhattan steakhouse.
So you know when you post something, and then someone bigger than you, like Adam Kinzinger, Bob Woodward, or that Nestor guy, confirm it? And years ago I posted about Trump being kicked out of Keen's Steakhouse in Manhattan, where I was eating with my father in 1983. Because his smell was so offensive. This wasn't an elderly thing. It was 1983. I wouldn't make fun of Trump today if it was an elderly thing. That's not what we do on the left. It happens to elderly people. Trump wasn't elderly. We didn't complain. The table next to him complained, and the table behind him complained. We smelled it, but my father and I didn't complain about it. Trump was not elderly. The smell was so fucking offensive that they finally had to ask him to leave. And he did leave, quietly, right by us, and it wafted us.
Still wanting answers to the question, because I'm just asking the question. I found a clip from an interview that former Trump handler on The Celebrity Apprentice, Noel Kassler, gave.
The diapers is not a joke. It depends. You know, Diaper Don is trending, but it's based in reality. He would often soil himself on The Apprentice set. He's incontinent from all the speed, all the Adderall he does, the cocaine that he's done for decades. You know, all that stuff has a laxative, and it has an effect on your bowels, and his are uncontrollable. He's worn diapers since probably the 90s, but I saw it firsthand in the 2000s on Celebrity Apprentice in late 2000s, and we'd have to stop the show and change him, you know, and that was Keith Schiller's job. He would take him off set, he would wipe him down. Our nickname for Keith was Wet Wipes. It's not a joke. It's happened several times.
Now, all of this just left me with unanswered questions, and there's no information on the other dictators and their propensity to rancid body odors, and left me with many more questions. But the biggest and a most appropriately named, lingering, looming, and eye-burning question is, when will it end? Will Donald Trump ever stop shitting himself? That's all I have to say. I'm just asking the questions. Thank you, ladies, for having me on your...
Thanks for stopping by, Tucker.
Thank you for having me on your woke leftist podcast.
All right, now get out and don't let the door hit you in the ass, Tucker.
Get out.
I would sponsor you, but I don't have money.
Nobody wants you anymore, Tucker Carlson. You've been fired from every place you ever worked.
Thanks for stopping by, Tucker. Bye-bye. Well, those are questions.
Thank you, Jimmy. Tucker.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
Those are questions. Yeah, so those are questions that clearly need to be answered.
He's asking the hard-hitting questions, at least.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah. So now, I mean, here we are. We're gonna go ahead and go into the.
Well, let me just say this. It's important. Things like this. I mean, they seem so juvenile, and they really are. But Donald Trump has brought us to this level. He calls everybody by some stupid nickname.
Yeah.
He constantly, I mean, and the only thing really, you have to mock Donald Trump because they don't care. His supporters do not care about policy. No. They don't care about any of that. They're not voting on that. But if you bring him down, if you mock him, if you make him look stupid and weak, that's what they can't handle.
Right. Well, and I think that that's going to be, the thing that is going to get us through this next year, because we are going to have a lot of work to do, talking to people, impressing upon people who may not be happy with every aspect of everything because, either the media hasn't been doing their job, reporting, the wins of Biden and letting people know.
They've been, it's been horrible. They just cannot. They have the narrative that there was going to be a recession, that all these things were bad. We're coming out of COVID. And of course we had the supply chain issues and all these other things. And now we're doing very well, but they won't give, and because of Biden's policies, that we are doing better than any other country in the I don't know, free world, in the G7 at least.
Yeah. So, I mean,
practically in the world.
Yeah. So, I mean, we know that, Republican voters, MAGA voters, they don't care. Like you said, they don't care about the issues. They, as long as you throw the red meat and the racism, they just love it.
They vote on that.
But for the people who do actually care about it, it's not being talked about. It's not being covered, so all of the things that you just mentioned, when that information is not getting out to the general public and people who actually do care about these things, then those polling numbers get reflected, right? That's what,
Yes, but they're not hearing about those things. And I mean, even when they do, it's like Biden, economic manufacturing boom. Will it be bad for Biden?
Right.
I mean, stuff like that. It's just ridiculous.
Well, and the numbers,
they cannot give him a win.
No, they cannot give him a win. And then, you have the Fed chair coming out and, giving this amazing report and citing immigration as one of the reasons for the miraculous recovery. Yeah. So these are things
we can talk about that another time.
But that's what I mean. So these are These are all of the things that we need to talk about, and to kind of remind people who, yes, you're upset about what's going on in the Middle East, and we all are. We're all upset. But we have got to remember that none of the things that you care about are going to be able to be addressed and accomplished if
the people that you care about will be worse. If Donald Trump gets it, and any vote that's not for Biden, is for Trump.
Yeah. So we have all of these. Mistake. Absolutely. And so we have all of these really important things to talk about and work to do coming into 2024. And, so kind of having the ridiculous stuff. And yes, it is sophomoric, it's juvenile. And I know that you were kind of fielding a lot of, Twitter trolls.
And people were getting pretty upset. I'm talking about like MAGA people, like people that, had the Twitter handle Trump train, or something like that. Yeah, they don't like it.
No.
They don't like it when you belittle their God.
No.
So that's why that makes it even sweeter though.
So I was gonna say this might be the perfect place to go into our Who Said. So Anita.
Yes, Karen.
Anita, who said, "I'm sick of Republicans losing in Florida"?
Fred Flintstone.
Nope. It was actually,
it
was close. Republican presidential candidate and MAGA bootlicker Ron Puddinfingers DeSantis.
Oh, yes, that's right. It wasn't Fred Flintstone.
No, it wasn't.
I'm confused.
And then, okay, so here's another one. And then I'm going to give you a little treat. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day.
Let me think. I don't know. I can't even think of that one.
No?
Who said that?
Well, that would be Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy.
I'm sick of Republicans losing. In Florida, we've become a party of losers at the end of the day.
You're just
the easy answer, do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
They're 5-inch heels, and I don't wear them unless you can run in them.
We have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023.
They are a party of losers because they lost in 2018, they lost in 2020, they lost in I skipped 2019. They lost in 2019 special elections, they lost in 2020.
Yeah.
And they lost in 22. They were supposed to take everything, remember?
Yeah.
There was supposed to be that big red wave.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
And
they're losing the special elections now. They're losing in 2023.
Yeah. Exactly. So here's another one. I have another one. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right. I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, that I can go campaign on and say we did. One.
That would be Satan.
Oh my gosh, that is so close. But it's
you.
wrong. It's wrong. It's not. And it's somebody who you actually know. And I think you call into his office all the time. Of course, I'm speaking of
now I know.
Representative Chip Roy from the great state of Texas.
Chipper.
Here we go.
When are my Republican colleagues going to put up or shut up? One thing. I want my Republican colleagues to give me one thing, one, that I can go campaign on and say we did. One. Anybody sitting in the complex, if you want to come down to the floor and come explain to me one material, meaningful, significant thing the Republican majority has done.
So there's some ads for the Democrats, right?
Oh yeah, they keep making ads for Democrats. Joe Biden that's one thing he's been doing. He's been taking what Republicans say and turning them turning them into ads to use against them. They've been very good about that. He has a very good team doing that on social media.
Yeah. Well, and you have
Vivek Ramaswamy, you have Chip Roy. What's some other ones that have said some horrible things?
All right. Are there questions that you'd like to ask me?
Here's my
Anita?
Questions, Karen.
Okay.
Ready? Are you ready? Okay. Who didn't mention slavery when somebody asked her what was the cause of the Civil War in the United States?
Penelope Pitstop.
No, wrong. Although close.
Okay.
Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley? No,
Nikki
she
Haley.
didn't.
She's from South Carolina.
No, she didn't say that. Oh.
She did.
No.
And she said, what do you want me to say about slavery?
What was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was? I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government. What do you want me to say about slavery?
Oh my God. I mean,
we need to have
you
capitalism?
Oh my God.
What is she talking about? Being educated in the South, that's the way they talk about the causes of slavery. They don't tell you that it was slavery. They tell you it was economics, it was, states' rights. And she's from South Carolina, but she should know better. She's running for president.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very, very disturbing.
And here's the thing. You have supposedly, right, a conservative voter in your audience asking a question. It's a softball question.
Oh, it's a very softball question. She thought it was hard.
And she thought, apparently she thought it was hard. And for him to say, she turns it around on him. And he's like, I'm not running for president.
Well, what's really, telling about it was Nikki Haley. She's like, what do you think the cause of the Civil War was? What do you want me to say? Because that's the way she is. She's just a weather vane. She is so weak and so cowardly. That's why she won't call out Trump.
Yeah.
She's running against him and she won't state the obvious. The man is unfit to be president. She knows that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's under indictment, 4 indictments for 91 criminal charges. I mean, she knows he is not fit to be president, but she is too weak and too cowardly. And she was too weak and too cowardly to tell the Republican Party, which doesn't want to piss off their white supremacist base, that guess what? The Civil War was about slavery.
Yeah.
That's pathetic in 2023. Okay. This is kind of a trick question, okay?
Okay.
Who called immigrants, who said that immigrants were poisoning the blood of our country?
Let's see. Snidely Whiplash? Is that somebody? No?
Wrong. You're terrible at this, Karen.
Oh.
That would be Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Both?
They both said it. It's so weird, too.
Is he plagiarizing Hitler?
Well, he says that Hitler didn't say it that way, or he never read Mein Kampf, which I doubt he's ever read any book. But he did have those speeches by his bed. His wife has talked about that. He's been asked about it. He said, oh, yes, somebody gave me those. I just didn't read. Yeah, we believe you didn't read them. But the fact, if he's saying that he came up with Hitler's ideas all by himself, how is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not better.
Well, I think we have the actual clip.
When they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. They just come in. The crime is going to be tremendous. The terrorism is going to be. And then we built a tremendous piece of the wall, and then we're going to build more.
You know, Anita, but they're not racist, and he's not racist.
No, they're
and
not white supremacists.
No, they're not. And it's like they care about the issues, right?
Right.
Yeah. They vote on
and
issues.
He's not Hitler.
And why don't we, I think what we need to do, just based off of that, we need to go to these, rural diners and figure out, what
makes you tick? What makes them tick?
What are they mad about?
You know what? We don't have enough. We don't have enough of those kind of interviews.
Yeah.
Going to those little diners in Pennsylvania, bumfuck Pennsylvania, or wherever.
Yeah.
We don't. So
Montana, we need to
exactly.
We need to figure out what Texas. They care about. Yeah,
it's true.
No,
I'm wondering. I don't know what it is. What is it they see in Donald Trump?
What could it be? What could it be? Yeah. So, did you have another question, Anita?
I have one more question. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. Who said this country needs to go back to 18th century values?
Oh, I know
and
this
that's the 1700s.
Oh,
okay?
I know this.
Oh, you know this? Okay.
Totally. Herbie the love bug.
No.
Oh.
Karen.
No?
You really suck at this.
I'm sorry.
You really do.
I'm sorry.
You really shouldn't.
I've been under the tutelage of Chris Lavoie.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's terrible too.
Yeah. But we love him very much.
Yes. Let me give you the answer. Ready?
Okay.
And that is a MAGA Mike Johnson.
Oh.
So he wants to go back to 18th century values, like when we had slavery.
Yeah.
And black people and women were property.
Are you talking about the Speaker of the House, the current Speaker of the House,
yes.
who's in line for the presidency, God forbid?
Third in line or second in line. Yeah. That guy.
Okay.
He's crazy.
Well, it just so happens I have a clip here. Hold on.
Oh, you bigot. Can't you be a little more open-minded? Come on. That's so like 18th century. Well, they told us that if we didn't maintain those 18th century values, that the republic would not stand. And so this is the condition we find ourselves in today.
He is so weird. I mean, it's so disturbing.
And weirdness is probably, the nicest thing that you can say about this guy.
No.
Yeah.
Well, true. He is a theocrat. Okay. Yeah. He wants this country to go back to a time, or he had when his daughter was 13, they had a purity ball. There's some pictures out there of them dancing, or they're like a bride and groom. That's the kind of values he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She had to pledge that she wouldn't have, sex till marriage by having this at this ball with her father. I mean, it's so creepy. It's so.
Well, all of it, and God, it makes me think about how. Our media, like some of these, cable channels, that like the Shiny Happy People, where they would have this reality TV, and it's just like,
oh, those people, yeah, you need to watch that documentary.
Oh my God, it's like the same flippin' thing. This is who these people are.
18 and counting or something like that.
Yeah.
They are really, watch that documentary if you get a chance. It's called Shiny Happy
on
Netflix, right?
Yeah, I believe it's on Netflix. I'll put the link.
It's very disturbing.
It really is.
These people, 18th century values is where, these guys, I mean, it's just so, there's so much, it's so incestuous, really.
Yeah.
With this,
yeah,
where the father is standing there with his daughter at 13.
Yeah.
Like, people said they looked like bride and groom.
That's so, oh my God.
That
it is so gross. And it's just like, and they're it is so wildly inappropriate. I mean, and that's just like putting it mildly. And just, the fact that this is exactly where, like, you look at the overturning of Roe. You look, and this is where we are. This is where they want to, like, take all of us.
Pardons arrive. mob. Bribery hung where you can see, pending charges tried to stop. Pardons around the Christmas tree so the witnesses won't sing. Later we'll ask for cold hard cash and we'll do some bargaining. You will get a better feeling when we're in next year. Come on, don't be melancholy. Get a vaccine thanks to Dolly. Pardons around the Christmas tree. Have a happy holiday. Everyone gets the third degree and we'll see Trump locked away.
Guess what? We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Happy New Year to you in jail.
So, yeah, on that note, here we go. Well, and Biden.
I think Christmas won, by the way.
Well, and because General Joe Biden, who is just,
he outlawed Christmas.
He's the leader in the war on Christmas. So here's what he had to say about Christmas.
The Christmas story is at the heart of the Christian faith. But the messages of hope, love, peace, and joy, they're also universal. It speaks to all of us, whether we're Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, or any other faith, or no faith at all. It speaks to all of us as human beings who are here on this earth, to care for one another, to look out for one another, to love one another. Our politics has gotten so angry, so mean, so partisan. And too often we see each other as enemies, not as neighbors. So my hope this Christmas season is that we take a few moments of quiet reflection, find that stillness in the heart of Christmas. It's at the heart of Christmas. And really look at each other. Not as Democrats or Republicans, not as members of Team Red or Team Blue, but as who we really are, fellow Americans. Fellow human beings worthy of being treated with dignity and respect. I sincerely hope this holiday season will drain the poison that has infected our politics and set us against one another. I hope this Christmas season marks a fresh start for our nation, because there's so much that unites us as Americans, so much more that unites us than divides us. So this Christmas, let's spread a little kindness. This Christmas, let's be that helping hand, that strong shoulder, that friendly voice, when no one else seems to care for those who are struggling, in trouble, and need. It just might be the best gift you can ever give. And I wish you, and for you, and for our nation, now and always, is that we'll live in the light of liberty and hope, of love and generosity, of kindness and compassion, of dignity and decency. So from the Biden family, we wish you and your family peace, joy, health, and happiness. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and all the best in the new year. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
Impeach.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
the
my
war
gosh.
on holidays.
But, I'm listening to
What a
this.
beautiful message.
Seriously. I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, this is it. And this is the way we're going to wrap up 2023 and our holiday podcast.
Yes, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Warm note. And I just want to wish you, Anita, and of course,
Yes.
Jimmy, I would like to wish you both a very happy, healthy, safe New Year's, and we will be hunkering down here. In the meantime, listen, I just want to thank you guys both. I love you very much, Jimmy Byrne.
I love you too.
I love you,
Love you
Anita.
guys.
What's
Love you too.
what are your
Happy
guys'
New Year.
What are your guys' New Year's resolutions, if you have any?
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead, Anita. You go ahead.
my resolution is to just survive 2024 because this is going to be a really lit election.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough. So I'm going to try to remain as, calm, just take care of myself, take some time for myself and get away from politics occasionally, because this is really going to be a tough year, guys.
It's going to be intense, and I'm up. I think we're up for the fight, Anita. You and I both,
Yes.
and I think that is my resolution as well: is to remain in the fight, take the necessary breaks when we need to. I'm still trying to work on losing another 8 pounds to get to my fighting weight. After gaining probably about 15 from the Trump terror occupation.
Well, stop drinking all that beer, and then you know.
Well, but I like beer. But I like beer.
I like beer.
I like beer. No, I like beer.
Yeah.
So I just think that's what we can do, and I think, Anita, I've talked to you about it, and it's just the Serenity Prayer always comes to mind. It's God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's right.
Yes.
And so I think that if we just keep our heads clear and come up with some clear, concise messaging, and I think we're going to be able to do this. I really do. I have great hope.
Yes, let's save democracy, guys.
But Anita, since this is the season of generosity and love, we wanted to go through, in addition to giving shout outs to our paid patrons, we wanted to just give a huge hug and bunch of appreciation for all of our Patreon members. And so I'm going to go ahead. It's a long list, but if you'll bear with me, I would like to, along with Anita and our amazing producer, Jimmy Byrne, thank the following people: Sandy Richards, Alex Floyd Vargas, Jane Sykes, Chuck Burry, I don't know if that's your real name, Cy Guy, Andrea Brower, Kimberly Norberto, who is an amazing woman, Sarah Harmon, my sister, my baby sister, Liz Burns, Colleen Condren, Damian Morris, Rosemary Lerario, Bill McKenzie, Robert Bobby Ferguson, who is,
Bobby.
Of course, your brother, Anita. And
yes, I know him.
Yes, and you had Christmas dinner with him.
Yes, I did.
Yes, Kelly House, Tamsin L. Will, that is actually Tammy Will, who is a wonderful stuff head and good friend. Lester Reams. Hey, Lester. Nick Ferguson. Do you know Nick Ferguson?
I do know Nick Ferguson.
You do?
He's he's Bobby's son. He's my nephew.
Uh-huh.
He's a great guy, too. I didn't know he was a Patreon. But that's great to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cindy Berk, Lori Kish, our beloved in Minnesota, Billy Pontillo, who I have coffee with often, Debrianna Mancini, Megan Kinney, Brenda Beverly, beloveds, Nancy Sutton, Jen Hardy, Sue Cohen, Catherine Sumter, Kitty Betham, Susan Waterman, Frank Aronson, Larry Toden, who is a beloved Chicago Steph head. Anita Ferguson, do you know you're signed up?
No, I had no idea.
You are.
That's great. Yeah.
Yes. David Hoff, Gina Hales, who is a very good friend.
All these Fergusons, I don't know.
Seriously. B. Severin, Paul Puckite. I'm sorry. I'm Denver Juggler. Denver Juggler. Hey, how's that? Kate from Milwaukee.
I think some people are not giving their real names here,
I think so. My dear colleague Greer Hassman, Sharon Rodriguez, Beverly Schultz.
Is Jack Me Off on there?
Jack Mehoff? No, I don't see that one here. Sharon Rodriguez, Beverly Schultz, Nancy Sivak, Paul West, M. Prieto, Mark P., Cynthia Tillman, and I probably just completely massacred her name, Tim Wood, and that is all. Thank you to all.
Thank you, guys, and have a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and we'll
see you next year.
See you next year. Love you all. Mwah.
Love you.